I'm pretty much packed and ready to go. Before I go, I spend the day with my babies, energized, and it's going to get us to London. Hey, so I just did a light makeup beat. Probably can't really see it, but I just pretty much put on just foundation, a little bit of blush. I have done nothing else except for that, and then some lipstick. I have an interview with BBC News. You may be familiar with the company, talking about natural hair, politics, natural hair in the community, and so on. So I took my hair out, and I'm headed over there. I'm so tired. I had about an hour and a half of a nap, and that's all I've had today. So I'm hoping that my energy can liven up a little bit, and I have an awesome interview. I'm so excited. When you hear BBC London, it's like, oh my God!
Well, look, I'm all grouping on you, so, you know, it's a mutual appreciation society.
Oh, you're so
Is it your
cute.
first time to London?
Oh my goodness, is it? Yes.
One of you prefer?
Okay, I'll do it so that I can really truly embody being on radio.
Yes. So you can get. It's a shame we couldn't get you for Sundays. We
I
had a
know.
live show. We've got 5 people, and you would have been our star guest.
Oh,
You know,
I
but this time, next time, but I'm
know.
going to use a bit of this for Sunday. I'm going to say that, you know, you came in over the weekend to do Co-volution, and I caught up with you and la la la. And
Okay.
I'll put a bit of that in. I'm also going to use the main interview for the World Service.
All right.
So, you know, getting lots of different bits of use out of. So Jenell Stewart, otherwise known as Kinky Curly Coily Me.
That's me.
Welcome to London.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the BBC.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Bless you. So you just got in this morning. You're here for the weekend.
Yeah.
Tell us about. You're a Liberian American, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Tell us about your heritage.
My mother and my father, they were born in Liberia, Africa, and they sought refuge in the United States back when Liberia was going through a horrible time with a civil war. And so I was born and raised in New York. I grew up there, and I actually still live in New York, although I did go to school in a different state, but New York is just like, my heart is just there. My family raised me as African, very much so. I didn't grow up eating macaroni. I didn't grow up eating ramen noodles, not much hamburgers and hot dogs. We ate African food.
Yep.
Yes, so when I would go to school, it would be the one or two meals that I had that I could enjoy American food. And then, of course, as I got older and visited friends, I had the opportunity to eat how they ate.
That's a very familiar story. Likewise, my parents from the Caribbean, so at home it was Caribbean food. At school,
Oh,
fish
yes.
fingers and chips.
Yes, yes.
So really
Exactly.
So you're a New Yorker. You're a New
I
Yorker.
am.
And what do you do? I know you know, we'll get onto the hair bit, but I know you're a professional woman.
Yeah, so when I first started finding my career, actually, I graduated from the University of Rhode Island with a bachelor's in philosophy and political science and a minor in African American studies. I knew for sure I was going to be a lawyer. My mom always said, you always have something to say. You always have an answer for everything. But then I decided I wanted to take a different path because I started to think about how much time it would actually take to go through with law school and where my family planning fit into that. Being African family and having a lot of children and having a lot of relatives is very much a part of our culture. So that was something that was instilled with me. I have 5 brothers and I have 4 sisters.
Wow.
So I really wanted to have children. Moving on, I went to get my master's in education so I could still have an advanced degree to collect more coins, and you get the advanced degree, you get more money. Yeah. So I actually taught in the public school for several years. My master's is in education, and I left that to do administrative work for the Department of Health doing early intervention, which is a form of, you could say, special ed for babies, where the government will do evaluations to determine whether a child has any special needs and can qualify for services. Yeah. So I did that, and at the same time of both of these different career paths, I cut off all my my relaxed hair. I cut off all my relaxed hair.
And how long have you been relaxed at that point?
At that point, pretty much from, let's say, about 6 years old, all the way through until 25.
And that's quite late, 6 for an American.
Yeah.
From what I've been reading on blogs, Americans were having their hair straightened.
Out of the womb.
Yeah. I mean, for me, as a Black British woman, that was like, really?
Yes. It's a culture. It's so much a culture. This is what you do because you don't know what to do to your own hair. And so when your daughter has hair that's similar to the hair that you have, you also don't know what to do with her hair, so you relax it. I think the difference, maybe why my mom went a little bit later, is my mom believes in appropriate hairstyles for children. Mm-hmm. So things like wearing my hair in braids, whether it be with extensions or just my own hair naturally cornrowed, which is a very popular and ethnic style from African culture. Yeah. So she would do those type of styles in my hair. And then when it got to the point where I was interested in how my hair looked and what style and how wanting to wear it out or in a ponytail, emulating that of my white girlfriends. Mm-hmm. Then it was like, well, what are we going to do? Because your hair doesn't exactly do that.
It doesn't move.
Yes, it doesn't do that. So that's when she made the decision. And I actually had what they would call a jerry curl. Mm-hmm. Prior to the relaxer, because it was what my mom thought was a much milder chemical treatment.
Still curly
yes,
as well, wasn't it?
Still curly. Yeah. And very juicy and very wet. Yes. So I left my stamp everywhere I was.
Very familiar here as well, yeah. The curly perm.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. So, yeah. But up until 25, I had my hair relaxed. And then when I decided to go natural, based on me just finding people online who were talking about this and demonstrating how to do it. I think that was the issue, and that's the issue for everyone. It's not that we don't want to wear our hair natural, it's that we don't know how to wear our hair natural. We don't know what to do when we finally just wear it natural. What styles? How do I tame it? How do I manage it? What products do I use?
But it's interesting you use the word tame, and I noticed there's this whole idea that Afro hair needs to be tamed.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. It's definitely one of the questions I get the most. Like, what do you do to keep it not so crazy? Like, everyone's just has this fear of it looking crazy. And you hear that language amongst people who aren't natural. You hear that language myself. I hear it amongst companies who are manufacturing products. They have manageability products. Absolutely. And all of these things. And I would say initially it was a concern of mine. How do I tame it? Because my language around natural hair has not been developed. So I would say things like, I want it to lay down. I don't want it to just stick up. I don't want it to look crazy. I don't want to look ridiculous when I go out. I don't want people to... It was always about how others were perceiving me.
Trying to get it like it would be if it was permed, flattened.
Yes.
People. I see this even today. People who go natural are still trying to... Maybe you could say the same for me today, because I've got mine gelled back.
Okay.
Still trying, occasionally, sometimes trying to flatten it?
Yes, yes. Well, definitely, I think, when you have hair of any kind, you want to have options. So if you decide you want to wear it very wild and big, so to speak, you have that option with natural hair. But then if you want to tame it up, so to speak, and put it away or put it up or pin it up or, as you described, flatten it with some gel, you have that option too. And depending on your comfort level, depending on the situation that you're in, there's always a different appropriate hairstyles for depending on what's going on. But for me, like I said, my language wasn't really there. So once I started understanding the terminology around natural hair, it's just simple things. We have so many acronyms in natural hair. TWA. Everyone says, what's a TWA? Well, it's a teeny weeny afro, and it's essentially the very first hairstyle you have when you do the BC, which is called the big chop, when you cut off all of your hair.
Yeah.
So we have all of these different terms and all of these different things. It's a completely different culture, and we are a community. And when I started to become a part of the community, not just as someone who wore their hair natural, but someone who understood the language, the culture, understood how to style it, understood where to go for support and help, because there are outlets for help that are online. I myself, my website, kinkycurlycoilyme.com, is an outlet for help. We provide so much information on how to style your natural hair, from the very shortest style all the way up to the very longest hair. How do you care for it? That's always a big thing. My hair is so dry.
There seems to be the question about dryness and about texture. We're going to come on to that because, there's like favourite subjects in the natural hair community.
Yes.
I mean, you're this big super duper star hair blogger. I mean, you are one of the biggest.
Thank you.
But it's true.
Yeah, thank you. I still sometimes forget how well known I am until I'm in an environment where it's not related to natural hair, and I no longer have to introduce myself. As soon as I start saying, hi, my name is, they go, I know who you are. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And we're at like the grocery store.
Without asking your age, and I'm sure I'll work it out in a moment, you said you started going natural at 25.
25, and I'm 30 now.
You're 30 now.
Yeah.
So how long have you been blogging?
I've been blogging as far as natural hair for 5 years. I had a little kind of like a hodgepodge of a blog where I talked about everything about 2 to 3 years before that. So you can say overall 8 years, but it didn't take off in the way that it has now
And
until I focused on natural hair.
I mean, on Facebook, you're a blue tick.
Oh, yeah. What is that?
Well, you're a VIP. Facebook have designated
Oh,
you.
that little check mark. That's a blue tick.
Yeah, well,
okay.
I think there is another better term for it. I just don't know the better term. But I think it started about last year. I think I noticed it for the first time.
Yeah, on Twitter it started where you would get like verified.
Yes.
Like the celebrities
Well, you're
had that.
verified on Facebook.
I'm verified on Facebook.
And
yes.
you have got how many followers on Facebook?
On just my business page, almost 400,000.
Say that again.
On my business page, almost 400,000.
Wow.
And then I created more of a lifestyle, everything else about me, my mommy stuff, my cooking stuff, my weight loss stuff. And that's over 120,000 because the natural hair community is interested in so many more things. And so I'm able to relay those messages and talk about various topics with them through my other outlets.
Now, natural hair, everybody and anybody is natural hair expert if you look online.
Oh, yeah.
How comes you have managed to, garner the imagination and interest of so many people?
Yeah, well, one of the things that I find to be unique about me is that I started my hair care journey much earlier on than some of the women who are coming around now. So there's this archive of hair videos and hair tutorials and all of these articles where I'm showing women how to style their hair from the very beginning, not after my hair has already grown to a length that people are aspiring for, but they can refer to these videos in the moment. Secondly, my hair is the texture that most women who are considering going natural are deathly afraid of. They refer to it as the most nappy, the most coarse.
Or the word frizzy.
Frizzy, yes.
I mean, see, I'm embracing the word frizzy. Because
Yeah.
to me, our hair is frizzy. It's
Yes,
frizzy.
it is. That's the nature of it. And when you understand that it's supposed to have shrinkage, which everyone is afraid of, oh, it's so much shrinkage. I tell them, I said, if you had no shrinkage, your hair would be straight.
Yes.
So that's just a part of your hair. But being that I have that texture that people are usually not seeing in the media, they're not seeing the very tight, coarse texture hair. They're not seeing the high shrinkage hair. They're seeing more of the voluminous, softer, curly, shiny, bouncy hair. So when they see my channel, they can relate.
Yeah.
Wow, her hair looks just like mine, and they feel comfortable. They're at home. And when they see that my hair and their hair have very similar textures and very similar aesthetics, they see that I'm managing and taking care of it and loving it.
And looking fabulous.
Oh yes, fabulous, fabulous. And they love that because there's no qualms. I'm not ever on camera like, oh, my hair is just, I'm not stressed out about it. Never negative, always positive.
So you're here for Co-volution.
I am.
And what are you going to be sharing with the people of Co-volution?
So first of all, I'm going to embrace everybody with my presence. I'm hoping that people who do come out get to an opportunity to take a picture with me. I love selfies. I want to get a hug as well and be able to say I've met them.
You'll get plenty.
I love that. I call my audience of followers my loves. So I can't wait to meet my loves. And then I'm hosting a workshop during the event where I'm going to talk about how natural hair isn't easy, because there's sometimes this misconception that it's easy, and no, it isn't. And I think we say that it's easy because we've gotten used to doing it, but it's not easy, but it's not the end of the world. It's not the hardest thing.
It's doable once you have a system
exactly.
of styles and you kind of get a way of working. Like I go from this slip back ponytail to the wash. This is the last stage. So I start off with 2 plaits, then I go into having the back out and the front up, then I go to having it like this and it's washed. So
but I love how you transition and allow your hair to evolve, because not everyone is open to that. And I talk about that a lot, how if you desire a certain look, maybe that's the last step of the entire week. Maybe it's not the first step, because it does take a lot of time. For instance, just a style that we call the twist out, where you 2-strand twist your hair and then you loosen the twist, fluff it out, and you have this amazing goddess fro.
Absolutely.
But you may want to keep your twist in a little bit longer so you can have a style that kind of evolves. Later on in the week, you wear the twist out, so it's not every day. Twist at night, untwist in the morning, and spending all that time back and forth. But yeah, I'll be talking about that, how you can get through it, and teaching people to understand that your hair, when it was chemically treated, most likely was not 100% of the care was not done by you. So there's definitely an ease factor because you weren't doing all of it. Maybe you were going to the stylist. Maybe your aunt or your mother or your grandmother, they were doing the relaxing for you. So you just had to wake up and style your hair, but you didn't have to do all of the care. So now you're doing all of the care. And it is going to be a little bit of a challenge because now you are the licensed professional in your own hair. But once you get that down, the beauty of it is that you're no longer dependent on anyone else. And if you do go to a stylist, which I recommend for various services, and I still do myself, you can do that on a seasonal schedule or as a treat, as a gift, as an investment, something to take away, something to add to your excitement around your hair, like how you might go to the spa. You know, you don't always do a facial. You don't always have to go to the salon. So I'll be talking about that, product choices as well, and just understanding some of the basics that you don't need to do every single thing that the women on YouTube are. Think about someone who has just newly embarked on a health and fitness journey, and they're no longer
football events.
Football event, okay. Trainers is what you call sneakers?
Yes.
I'm picking up the lingo.
Okay. And it's funny you take it for granted thinking that you know exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.